Hello everyone, and welcome to today's webinar brought to you by Better Caring. Just a little bit of housekeeping before we get started, just to ensure that this is the best experience possible for you. You'll notice that there's a chat box to the right of your screen. Please feel free to ask any questions as we go along. I really want you to get the most out of this session. At the end of the presentation, we'll try our best to get to answer all your questions, and we've left quite a bit of time for this, so please stick around. Inevitably with these presentations, there's a little bit of video lag or audio lag. Please don't worry about this. If you miss anything, we're going to be sending out a copy of this video to your inbox tomorrow. So today's session is using your NDIS funds to build your own community of paid support workers. My name is Luke, and I'm one of the community engagement team here at Better Caring, and just a small part of a big team of wonderful human beings whose sole purpose is to make sure that you have the best experience possible. Just a quick overview of today's session. We'll start off by looking at how your NDIS funds may be managed, and then I thought we'd go through some examples of how other people have built their own community of support workers using the Better Caring platform. I'll then walk you through what that journey may look like on the platform and how simple it can be. And then I'll guide you through some of the safeguards that we have developed to make sure that you have the safest possible experience using the platform. Now, through the planning process, you would have nominated to have your funds managed in one of three ways: self-managed, plan-managed, or agency-managed. What I want to impress upon you today is that no matter how your funds are managed, you will still be able to access and build your own supports through the Better Caring platform. Your pathway will just look a little bit different. If you're self-managed, you're taking full control of your plan, and the entirety of your relationship will be between you and Better Caring. If you're plan managed, you've no doubt engaged with a registered plan manager, and they've talked to you about some of the finance stuff that you'll need to know. And then you can go ahead and build your own community of support workers on the Better Caring platform. If you've remained agency managed, this was traditionally a little bit more complex, but as the service sector has evolved and grown, this is no longer an issue. So I encourage you to talk to your support coordinator or to your current organisation and let them know that you want to build your own community of support workers and you want to take a bit more control of your plan, and see if they would be happy to broker out to Better Caring. If not, please come and talk to us. We've got some amazing, really progressive service providers that we can refer you on to. Now, today, Better Caring has a wide range of existing independent support workers that you can search for based on any specific requirement that you may have. But today I want to encourage you to take a bit of a different view. Better Caring gives you an amazing tool by which you can look to your local community, your current support networks, and to those people that are already in your life and that really get you. You're no longer limited by a finite pool of support workers through a traditional service. The world is really your oyster. Is there someone from your church group that really helps you get out and about and socialise? Is there a mate from your soccer team who's really into the same music as you that can take you out to see the bands that you want to see? The world is really your oyster, and you're no longer limited by that finite pool of support workers. You now have the freedom to use the funds to access support how and when you want and from who you want. And that really is what full economic and community participation is all about. And Better Caring can help you facilitate that. It's pretty amazing. A great example of this is Ben. Ben came to the Better Caring platform with the aim of getting out and about in his community a little bit more independently. He wanted to increase some of his health and well-being goals and also have some of his daily living needs met. So Ben took his search to the existing pool of support workers that were in his local area on the Better Caring platform, and he came across Lisa, whom he eventually hired. Now, Lisa since has become a key staff in Ben's life. And together they've looked at Ben's goals and what kind of people would be the best to help him achieve those goals. Through this process, Ben identified a friend of his that was a personal trainer and already helped out with a little bit of his fitness goals. So Ben invited his personal trainer to sign up to the platform and to be a part of his team, which he did. The personal trainer went through our rigorous worker check and passed with flying colours. And now Ben's able to access those supports through the Better Caring platform. Now, since joining the Better Caring platform, Ben's managed to build a whole community of support workers around him, and they help him really access everything that he wants to. So they help him attend his TAFE, be part of his local tennis club, and down the track, he's got his sights set on developing a nice little micro business. A little bit differently is Laura, the wonderful Laura. Now, Laura's mum, Kathy, came to Better Caring platform with the aim of engaging a young female support worker to help support Laura to stay active and connected with others in their community. For Laura and Kathy, personality and interest were critical. This far outweighed any industry experience or any qualifications. And it was so important that not only did they look to the existing pool of support workers on the Better Caring platform, they took their search to the local community and put ads out in their local papers. Now, it was through this process that Kathy helped identify Sophie, who was known to Laura through her swimming club. Now, Sophie had those right personality traits. They got on, and she had the same interests and was in the same age group as Laura and seemed like the perfect fit. So they invited Sophie to be a part of the support team. And Sophie signed up to the Better Caring website to provide social assistance. And once she went through our rigorous working checks, which I'll talk to a little bit later in the session, they were able to use Laura's NDIS funds to engage Sophie. Now, this has turned out really well, and the relationship has flourished. And together the girls attend swimming and Zumba. And Sophie, who's also a food technology student, is helping Laura with nutritious food planning and developing some skills around meal preparation. So it's really been an amazing outcome. I think these are two great examples of how you're not tied into just a finite pool of workers that you were under a traditional agency. You're now, the world is your oyster, and you can really find the right people to support you in your local community. So what is Better Caring and how do we do this? Now, essentially, Better Caring is an online social platform where you can build and manage your own team of paid support. It's a new model that allows you to set up the right supports in your life with the people that you choose. We're not a traditional agency, and in some cases, we're not a quick fix. We believe that through the process of mutual choice, you can build long-lasting, quality relationships that build quality teams around you to help you achieve your goals. You really do have total control, choice, and flexibility, which also helps your funding go further. Now, just because you have signed up to an online platform, a social platform, it doesn't mean that you're ever alone. And we can work with you in a number of ways. I guess we start with working with you to try and discover what supports that you already have in your life and where some of the gaps may be. We then provide you with a direct connection to an existing online community of independent support workers to help you meet and close some of those gaps. And then from your list of existing supports that you've identified in step 1, we help you retain and manage that team through the platform. We then give you the ability to agree on the rates and the schedules that work for you, easily managing and paying your team all through the online platform. So how does this work? Well, your journey on the platform really can be broken down into 3 easy steps. all managed in the one place. Find, connect, and hire. Now, for the first time, we give you the tool to filter through your list of support workers based on any criteria that is important to you, whether that's location, qualifications, interests, personality. It could be cultural background, language spoken, and you can apply these to the list at any stage. Now, then it's just a matter of scrolling through the list and looking for someone that piques your interest. In the screen that you see on your computer at the moment, you'll note that you can see the staff members, a picture of the staff member. You'll get a brief snapshot of what services they want to provide and what services they've been approved to provide. You'll also see their consumer star rating, which has been awarded by customers that they've supported in the past. And you'll also be able to see if they've been awarded a medal by one of the Better Caring team for exceptional service and communication. And that's a gold, silver, and bronze. So then it's just a matter of scrolling through the list to find someone that you think suits you. Once you've found the right person, you just click on the profile picture and it'll open up their profile. In this screen, you'll get a much more detailed picture of who they are, what supports they offer, their availability, and an indicative price that they've set. Their pricing is always up for a negotiation, so please have a conversation with the worker, talk to them about what service you want, and you can negotiate these rates. One of the nice features is you'll also be able to see a more detailed reviews of what customers have written for the worker. Now, it's important to note that Better Caring don't edit any of the ratings. What you see is what you get. So it really gives you a good idea of the reputation of the worker and what support they've provided in the past. So you found the right worker and you want to move forward with a conversation just to ask them a few questions. This is where we move through to part 2, or the second stage of which is the connect phase. It's at this stage that you'll be able to have a conversation, and it's as easy as clicking a button saying send this worker a message. Through this process, you'll be able to ask any questions that are important to you, check the worker's availability and rates, and maybe chat to them about what your goals are and what support you're going to need to achieve those goals. You can also request to interview this worker, and that could be at a place of your choosing. And you can also do this by phone just to make sure that you've got the right worker. I think it's important to note that you're never locked into ongoing contracts with the worker. So if you do engage with the worker and have an agreement go through and it doesn't work out for whatever reason, it's just a matter of clicking a terminate button, terminate this agreement button, and the relationship is over. You're no longer locked into two-week notification periods. It's just a really easy process. So once you've interviewed your worker and you've found the right person and you really want to move forward with the process, you request an agreement from that staff member. Now, these agreements can be as detailed or as open as you want, depending on whether you like the flexibility to have workers support you when you want, or if you want the security of itemizing what those shifts are going to look like with a lot of detail in that. And that may be every Tuesday from 2 till 4, providing domestic assistance. You're really in the driver's seat about what you want in that agreement, and you negotiate with your worker the cost of that agreement. So you'll provide all that information to your worker and they will send you through an offer. And we move through to the next stage, which is the hire phase. Now, your worker sent you through an agreement. All you have to do is accept that agreement, and that's just a matter of clicking a button that says accept this agreement. If there's some details that are missing, you can request that the worker amend this agreement and provide a little bit more detail, or a little bit more information about what service you want them to provide. Once you've done this, you'll get a nice little notification congratulating you that you've now hired your support worker. Now that there's an agreement in place, you can now move forward with support shifts, knowing full well that all the insurances for your worker have been organised on their behalf. And it's really important to note at this stage that there must be an agreement in place and timesheets must be submitted for your worker to be covered by Zurich's insurance policy. As your support worker provides these shifts for you and completes the shifts, they'll submit a timesheet. You'll get a notification that they've submitted a timesheet, and in this timesheet there'll be a little bit of detail about what date the service was provided, how many hours were provided. You then have the ability to approve or reject these shifts. And it's just a simple matter of pressing an approve button or pressing a reject button, all very easy. The timesheets also serve as a space for your support worker to complete shift notes. Now in the NDIS space, I think this is very important because you may be working towards a goal that you would like to provide evidence to the NDIS at your next review. Now the information contained in these shift notes is completely up to you, and I think it's important to have that conversation with your support worker, letting them know what you want noted in your shift notes, and how to complete those shift notes so that you have the right evidence to provide at your next NDIS review meeting. If you're working towards a particular goal, there's also a function of the platform for you to be able to upload any documentation that may be pertinent. A good example of this is if you have a travel training goal and there's already a plan in place with routes and certain kinds of travel arrangements, you're able to upload this to the platform. And once you have an agreement in place, your worker will be able to access this and complete notes according to that plan. This also goes for any support plans that you may have. Epilepsy, positive behaviour support plans, anything that you need your worker to be able to see and access to provide the right support to you, you can upload into your platform, into your profile, sorry, and your worker will only be able to access this once you have an agreement. You'll notice at this stage as well on your screen that you're never locked into an ongoing contract with a worker. If for whatever reason your circumstances change or you don't need that worker for a particular task anymore, there are no 2-week grace periods or anything like that anymore. It's just a matter of terminating that agreement and clicking a button and the agreement is terminated. Alternatively, if your circumstances change or you wish to receive service at a different time on a different day and your agreement is quite specific, again, this is also just a matter of amending the service agreement and requesting your worker to do that. And that happens instantly. And that's it, yeah. It's a very easy, simple process. Now, I think the platform is a really easy process for you to utilize. Now, we all get stuck from time to time using different technologies, and I want to assure you that you are never alone in this process, and that if you ever get stuck, you can call one of our team and they will help you move through a certain process, whether that's agreeing to a timesheet or setting an agreement up with a worker or uploading a document to your profile. There's always someone that can help you in this process. So never wait to the point where you feel frustrated or upset. Please get in touch with our wonderful team. They're always happy to help you, and there's a great team of people here to support you. One of our most common questions is around the safety features. And I guess this goes with any new technology or any new type of service. People want to know and make sure that they're safe. I can assure you that our worker onboarding is industry best practice, and sometimes I think exceeds industry best practice. Workers have to have current recognised police checks, working with children checks, and key qualification checks. If they're an allied health professional, their registrations are checked and all their qualifications, and they must be recognised. I think where sometimes we exceed industry best practice is if you wish to provide any assistance with medication, then you need to provide evidence that you've received medication training through a registered training organisation. And we log that in our system, and that's also time specific. So we regularly review that that's an up-to-date and current assistance with medication certificate. Similarly with personal care, if you wish to provide personal care on the platform, we expect that you would have an aged certificate in aged care services or disability services of 3 or above. But if you've had a verifiable 2 years experience providing personal care, and we can check those references, you will still be able to provide, a worker will still be able to provide personal care. And we have a team of people here that go through these reference checks and make sure that they are the people that they say they are and that they're fully verifiable. As I touched on before, all the insurances are arranged on the behalf of your worker. There's public liability, professional indemnity, group accident insurances, and Zurich is our partner. So these insurances are watertight and constantly in review to make sure that your worker is the safest they possibly can be. One of the best features, I think, of the platform is this consumer rating system. Not only are you able to rate the worker that supported you out of 5 using our star system, but you can write a detailed review of the types of services that they've provided to you. And I think this kind of quality control really works and is really working. And you can see on the platform that our workers have an average of 4.5 star rating, which is fantastic and shows the system is working. With issues of financial vulnerability and things like that, having our timesheets and our payments all managed through the online portal, it helps manage some of those risks, which is another great thing. So that's really it. And I think we'll move on to some of our questions. Please keep them coming. Can better caring provide a wider range of services at the patient level? Thank you so much for your question. We really do appreciate it. Some of the examples were physios, massage, and therapists. So yes, Better Caring do have allied health professionals that leverage the platform to provide services to their community. And if you're one of those people who's on a terribly long waiting list, I would encourage you to jump onto the platform and see if there's an allied health professional in your area, whether that's a psychologist, an occupational therapist, or a speech pathologist. Again, thank you so much for your question. Our next question is it true that I can bring workers that have worked with my son before to Better Caring? Yes, as I touched on a little bit before, I think this is one of the best features of Better Caring, that not being limited to a finite pool of workers. You can really look to those people who are in your son's life and who know him best and understand him, and invite them to be part of your support network, and Better Caring can help you manage that relationship and manage their payment through the platform. The next question is, and thank you for your question, is does Better Caring have somewhere to record client notes, shift notes, and can my coordinator access these for a review meeting? Most definitely. Again, through the timesheet process, your worker can record shift notes, and they can be as detailed as you want them to be. Again, I encourage you to have a conversation with your support worker. If there's specific subject matters that you need to be discussed in the shift notes, please encourage them to do so that it's ready for your review process. Now, when you're coming up for your review process, you can easily export your shift notes to a document and save them or print them out ready for your review meeting. The second part of that question was, can my coordinator access these notes for the review meeting? Yes, look, if you've given your coordinator authority to access these notes, then your coordinator can very much access these notes. And that's important because you want to get the best out of your current NDIS plan and ensure that you have the backup and the documentation to move forward into your next phase of your NDIS plan. Our next question is, if I want to use Better Caring, what do I need to do? I think the first thing you need to do is sign up to the platform. It's free to sign up to the platform and there's no joining fees or sign-up fees. You just set yourself up, develop a profile, and then you can search through our existing community of support workers to see if there's anyone in your area that may suit your needs. That is the first thing that I would do to start off with. If you get stuck with setting up your profile or through any stage of through any process, please get in touch with our community customer engagement team. They're a wonderful bunch of people and they're always here to help you. And we often get lots of compliments on the service that they provide, their expertise, and how at ease they make people feel. So please never hesitate getting in touch. Our next question is, I am partly self-managed and currently have invoices paid for out of my bank account. I can claim from the NDIS. My LAC, local area coordinator, my apologies, says it would be better if Better Caring invoiced the NDIS directly. Can I change my payment option to do this? Of course. Being a live portal, you can change your payment options at any time you want. You're never locked into an ongoing service agreement or contract. And if your circumstances change and if your payment issues change, then you can very much get into contact with us and change how the payments are made and where invoices are directed instantly. Our next question is, how do Better Caring get paid for the platform and help you provide? Better Caring do get paid for some of the services they provide. Now, the charges are applied in one of two ways. There's a 10% charge to the worker hourly rate, and that goes towards maintaining the platform, the marketing opportunities for a worker to help build their own team and build their own business, and also to help cover the insurance costs for that worker. On the consumer side of thing or the customer side of thing, there is a 5% charge on that hourly rate. Again, also for the maintenance of the platform and also to help cover the costs of some of the support teams whose sole purpose it is really to make sure that you have the best possible experience on the platform. The next question is an interesting one. If I rate my workers while they are still contracted to me, aren't I making them more attractive to others and risk losing them? and I guess that is it's a good point. I think we want to, I think it's part of looking after your team that are around you. If you value your workers, they've also got expenses that they need covered and a mortgage that they may need to pay or university fees that they may need to pay. And to do that, they have to get enough work through the Better Caring platform. I think providing a positive review for your support worker will only encourage them to stick around a lot longer and make them feel great. You know, in a traditional workplace, you often have performance reviews and you get feedback from your boss. This is no different. I think a positive review will only make your worker feel more valued and be more loyal to your service rather than risking losing them. Do workers have to pay for insurance and do they need an ABN? So it's two questions. Firstly, every worker on the platform is an independent worker and therefore requires an ABN, which is a very simple process. And jumping onto the platform as a worker, you just need to, there'll be advice for you around that. But I always encourage you to go and see a financial consultant if you have any more questions, and they can point you in the right direction around that stuff. The second part of that question was, do workers have to pay for insurance? As I mentioned before, part of the 10% fee that workers pay on their hourly rate does cover the insurances that are provided on behalf of them. So the answer is no, they don't have to go and get their own insurances. Better Caring provides your insurances on your behalf, and it is a very good policy that is comprehensive and constantly reviewed. And I think that's it. Look, if you've got any more questions and you want to have a chat to one of our team, or if you want to have a chat to me directly, please don't hesitate in getting in touch. I'm going to be around for the rest of the week, and you can get hold of us on 1300 736573. If you wish to send an email to us, you can do that on info@bettercaring.com.au. And if you have any suggestions for any more content that you would like us to develop to ensure that your journey is the best it possibly can be, please get in touch with us and we'll try to develop that for you. Again, please don't hesitate to get in touch, 1300 736573. Thank you for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it.